Okay, so you guys start working together, and the first single comes out, Got a Job.
Okay, yeah. First single comes out, Got a Job. I was looking at American Bandstand one day. In fact, the day that the Silhouettes, who were a very popular group at that time, and their number one record was probably number one in the world at that time, was Get a Job.
Right.
And so I saw them singing that and getting the gold record and everything, and the thought came to me, get a job. Well, why not write Got a Job? Which I did. And so that was the first record that the Miracles and I ever had out, but it was on N label out of New York because there was no Motown at that time.
I mean, were you guys the Miracles at that point, or did the name change start after that?
The name changed after we recorded the record, because before the record came out, the name changed because Berry didn't think that the Matadors was appropriate for Claudette, who was in our group, you know.
Right.
So we put a bunch of names in a hat and picked one out, and I just so happens that I put the Miracles in there, and picked one out, and it was the Miracles. So that's how we became the Miracles before Got a Job came out, because we needed a name for the label.
Okay, so Got a Job comes out. Was it a hit, or?
Yeah, it was a hit. Yeah, it was a hit. It was at that time there were 3 charts. There was the classical chart, there was the what they call the pop chart, and the pop chart had people like Elvis Presley and all those people like that on it. And then there was the black chart, you know. So Got a Job was in the top 5 in the black chart. So we knew it was a hit, and we were hearing it all the time. And so yeah, it was a hit.
Okay, and then that next year, 1959, you and Claudette actually got married.
We actually got married.
And you guys were together since you were like 14 or so?
Yes.
Okay. Why get married that young?
Because I thought I was a man. I thought I was a man, and I thought I was ready for that. I thought I was ready for life. And Berry had just started Motown, and I had a job. I was making $5 a week. And, you know, she was the executive secretary to the head of the YMCA for all of Michigan. And, you know, Claudette was a brilliant girl. She graduated from high school when we were 16, you know, and she did, I mean, girls were doing shorthand at that time, and she could do like 500 words a minute, some crazy stuff like that, you know. But she had a job, and, you know, and I had a job. I was making $5 a week, and she had been my girlfriend like since I was 14, and we had started doing a few gigs on the road and what have you, you know. And I thought I was a man. I thought I was grown. I thought I was ready for that, you know. And I think about that all the time. If one of my kids had come to me when they were 19 years old and say, I want to get married, I would say, are you crazy? What are you talking about, you know? But it was a different time then, a different era. And so, yeah, we got married when I was 19.
Well, around that time, there wasn't a Motown yet. It was Tamla Records?
No, there wasn't even a Tamla at that time. You know, that was just before the first Tamla record came out.
Aha. Okay.
Yeah.
Because then Tamla Records formed, but then it got renamed Motown Records.
Well, Motown was the original name. Berry wanted the first label to be Tamla because at the time he thought it sounded popular because Debbie Reynolds had the #1 record in the world, a song called Tammy. Tammy's in Love. So he said Tammy, and so he just made it Tamla, and that was the first label that was released. But Motown was always the original title.
Okay. Why the name Motown?
Because at the time Detroit was known as the Motor City. Because
Motown.
All the auto plants and stuff.
Yeah.
That's where they were based in Michigan and mainly in Detroit. So they called it the Motor City. Mm-hmm. And then so Berry just took the Mo off of that and Motown.
Rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then that next year, 1960, you're 20 years old, and you put together Shop Around.
Yes.
Which took you 25 minutes to write.
Yes.
When you wrote it, did you know you had something on your hands, or was it just another song in a long list of songs?
No, I wrote Shop Around because Berry, we had an artist there named Barrett Strong. And Barrett Strong had a record called Money, That's What I Want. The best things in life are free, which Berry had written for him. And Berry wanted a follow-up to that. You know, he said, man, I want you to record some songs on Barrett because his, you know, Money, That's What I Want was a big hit. So I thought about what you do with money. You shop. So I wrote Shop Around, and Shop Around was one of those songs that just flowed out. It took about 20 to 30 minutes before the whole song was done, and I was very excited about it. And I went and showed it to Berry. And when I showed it to him, he said, no, I want you to sing it. So I said, no, man, this is for Barrett. He said, no, I want you to sing this song. We went through 20 minutes of that. And he finally said, man, just go in the studio and record this on You and the Miracles. I like the way your voice sounds on this. So I did. I went in and I recorded it. And Barrett Strong, as far as I was concerned, was a bluesy singer. And the best thing, life for free, all it was bluesy. So I recorded Shop Around bluesy, because that's how I imagined Barrett singing it. And it was slow and bluesy and blah, 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 with the piano curls and all that in it, And so I recorded it. And then the Miracles and I went on the road. And we came back, and we had gotten back in town one evening, probably about maybe midnight or so. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, my phone rang. And I was wondering who's calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning. I picked up the phone. I said, hello? And it's Barry. He said, hey, man. I said, yeah. I said, well, what's up, man? He said, what you doing? I said, what am I doing? I said, I'm sleeping. I said, what are you doing, man? He said, well, Shop Around won't let me sleep. I said, what? He said, Shop Around won't let me sleep. He said, you gave it the wrong treatment. It's not right. I said, oh. He said, yeah, man. He said, I'm going to re-record it. I said, re-record? I said, Barry, the record's been on the air for 2 weeks. I said, how you going to? He said, I don't care. It's a great song and it's not right, so I'm going to re-record it. I'm going to change the beat. I'm going to change the sound. I'm going to change everything about it. And it's going to #1. So I said, okay, he was him, So I said, okay, man, let's go with me. I'll see you tomorrow. He said, no, right now. I said, right now? He said, yeah. I said, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. He said, I don't care. He said, I called the musicians. You get the group. Y'all come to the studio right now. So we went to the studio at 3 o'clock in the morning. He had changed everything. All the musicians showed up except for the piano player. Barry played the piano on it himself. And we recorded Shop Around, and it became the first million seller for Motown ever.
Okay, so the new version was totally different from the original?
Totally.
Really?
Night and day.
Aha. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. And that becomes platinum, the first platinum record on Motown.
Yeah.
Was that song sort of about your own situation? When you look at the words, you getting married at 19 and so forth with your first girlfriend?
No, it really wasn't, man. Not consciously. Consciously, it was about shopping. It was about, because he had the record money. That's what I want. I want some money.
Okay.
Give me money. And so that's what you do. So consciously, that's what it was about.
Aha.
Now, subconsciously,
it is what it is.
Exactly.